this morning, but I was reading them earlier. They're found in Luke chapter 22. That was part of it. Not the other one, sir. Turn to Luke 22. And then I'm going to go back to Luke 18. Luke 22. I think Susan mentioned them. It says, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted," how many know what that word converted means?
Change, turn around.
Turned around. Because for a little bit you can't see it. But he says, when you get converted and when you get turned around, or you could have kept on saying, when your eyes get open, go strengthen the brethren. Go tell your own story. That's what he was saying. He said, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, that your faith fail not. I tried it. You can't. I'll run out of time for sure. But if you start from early in the scriptures, when God calls us, we don't always like to think that he will call us into impossible situations. We don't like to talk about that. Everyone in this room, anybody that's on YouTube, or anybody anywhere that's got a calling of God and God is leading your life, he sometimes calls you on purpose and puts you in the middle of impossible situations. Can you imagine God calling Moses? I want you, Moses. You know the story. You've heard the story of the Exodus. I've called you. Take my children and lead them out. No problem. Whoops. A slight problem. Number one, I don't know how to talk. That might become an issue later on. I'm not qualified. How many hear it? I don't know about you. Every time I get in the mess, I don't feel qualified for anything. The older I get, I can't believe I'm this numb. Maybe you can believe it, but for me, looking like this, Lord, how did you make anyone so numb? Because I can't seem to. You can't feel your way through. You lose your focus because everything is dark and insecure, and there's really, you're groping. If you want to have fun sometime, put treasures in a dark room. Turn the lights on, you go in ahead of time and hide some treasures. And then bring in a half a dozen kids that they know what the treasure is and they know where it is, but all the time you're telling them they got to be scary. You can't take your eyes out. You got to look at the light bulb. Stare. Okay, I've got $50 in the left-hand corner of this large room. Hey, don't look at me. You look at the light. Pitch black. Now what? American is not God. Nobody can look anywhere else. And say, when I say go, you go, and if you find it, the money's yours. They go in left-hand corner. Okay. Shut the light out and tell them to go. All the time they've been staring after me. And they can't see anything but spots in their eyes. And they're trying, they know that that's something good, but to find it is almost mission impossible. Now sometimes the Lord gets us into predicaments. We know it's going to be good. When everything's going good, anybody can talk faith. Anybody can talk faith when everything's okay. When you feel good physically and you haven't had a heartache, you haven't had an ache or a pain in your body, and everything is great, anybody can talk faith. Get outside of that realm, and all of a sudden things change. Sometimes it's hard to see through the problems or the pain that you're in. When I had kidney stones, they was asking me, Ralph, on a scale from 0 to 10, what is your pain level? Oh my goodness, I felt like just slapping. I was in excruciating pain. I was throwing up one time right behind another because the pain was excruciating. I couldn't get rid of it. You couldn't get comfortable anyway, no matter what you did. You could lay on the floor, you could swallow ice cube, you could do anything. Nothing felt better. On a scale from 0 to 10, what is your pain level?
3,000.
If you don't get me something, I'm going to throw something at you or anybody that's near me. I am excruciating pain. I need help. Do not give me morphine. I go ballistic with morphine. I have nightmares with morphine. So don't give me that. It was so bad that they give me some kind of a drip that you had to take it every 10 minutes. And it wore off real quick. And they hooked the pump up real quick. And my oldest boy knew that I was in pain. He said, never mind, Dad, I'll give you a shot. He said, every 10 minutes, I'll push the button. He didn't want me suffering, and he knew I didn't want suffering. Because I was ugly as an old bear. You ever know your dispositions change when you get really up against it all? So please don't throw me away. God's not done with me yet, but I don't know where I am. You see, we tell stories and we talk about Christians when they're in the middle of things. But just because you're not there, don't tell me you won't be. Please be patient with all of us, because we haven't all arrived yet. And every day when I come in new predicaments, they may throw me off guard. I might say and do dumb stuff, but sometimes I don't really mean it, but I don't know where I am.